What's happening? Tom Garman from Guitar Antihero here, and I want to take a couple minutes to talk about something that's vitally important to our playing, yet is so often overlooked. And that's the idea of consistency in what we're doing and the thought process behind it. Okay, well, forgive the crows over here that are being pretty consistent in their squawking and screeching. You don't mind them. Okay, so what do we mean by consistency exactly? Well, we're talking about being able to replicate an aspect of our playing in a reliable fashion, in a nutshell, okay? Now, this is going to be different for everybody, right? And this is something most players don't focus on because we do tend to be geared towards short-term results, short-term gratification, and looking at things in the short game sort of format. But as we've discussed before, guitar playing is fundamentally a long game, and we're in it for the long haul, so we don't want to just focus on the short term with this. Consistency allows us to move beyond the short game and play more for the long game. All right? Now, there's some different ways of looking at this. One traditional way of tracking results and consistency is to see how many times you can play something without a mistake. That's not entirely bad, but we don't want to base everything on that either, because we're usually quick to point out if we make a mistake or we're not getting something, we're not just feeling it. You know, we'll say, well, I'm having a bad day. And that's true, that happens. But the reverse is also true. Sometimes you can be having a good day and you're able to get things you normally would not be able to get. So you really can't bank on that so much. Now, as I see it, there are three fundamental ways that we can sort of gauge our progress here with consistency. All right, three areas. Number one, there should be a degree of naturalness, meaning we should be able to play whatever we're playing without it feeling too forced, all right? We should feel more kind of like we own it and that it's just a natural thing, right? We shouldn't have to force it too much regardless of the technical difficulty of whatever it is. Number two is, you know, we want to be able to have a sort of autopilot thing going on without a whole hell of a lot of intellectual input. So that means we shouldn't have to consciously think about what we're doing so much every single time we do it. Okay? It should go on autopilot a little bit more. We shouldn't have to plan out every single aspect of it. Interestingly enough, that will also hint towards the naturalness side of things. Okay? These will all play off one another. Number three is we should know it well enough that we can comfortably be creative and play around with it a little bit. All right? So say, for example, you're working with a part of a certain guitar solo. You should know that well enough when it's consistent, or sufficiently consistent, that you can take it, put it in another key, improvise with it, take it, make it your own. Okay? Now again, these three things are going to play off one another. So if you start to feel more natural, chances are the other two will also be there. If you feel like you can play around with it and break it up and do your own thing with it, chances are the first two will be there also. All right? Now you can get out your practice log, your notebook, whatever it is that you're hopefully using to track your progress in practice sessions, and write some of this stuff down and measure it from 1 week to the next, even one day to the next. Okay? I've done this where morning sessions were maybe different from afternoon sessions. So again, it's different for everybody. Right? And it will also depend on whatever you're working on, but we want to have a way of tracking this so we can see where we were in relation to where we are and where we want to be. Okay? So keep it consistent, work towards it, make it natural, own it, and keep at it. All right? Make sure to stop by GuitarAntihero.com for more info on being the biggest, baddest, and best guitar player you can be on your own terms. And hit me up on Twitter at GuitarAntihero with any questions and comments. Links to both are in the description box below. All right? So check them out. Till next time.